Hello, my little mathematicians. Today I'm going to help you plot and reflect points on the coordinate plane. Okay, so remember you can always pause the video, try it yourself, and then unpause it and come back to see how you did. So first off, we need to know how to plot a point. So that first number tells us which direction. Yes, the first number tells us if we go right or left. So right is positive, left is negative. The second number tells us if we go up or down. So up is positive and down is the negative. All right. So if I take a look at this first point, A, I'm going to go right 6 and up 2. So let's go ahead and do that here. I'm going to go right 6 and up 2 and label that point A. Okay, now, again, you can always try these yourself first and then come back to see how you did. Okay, so for B, which direction do you think you should go? Left 3 and which direction 5? Down 5. So left 3 and down 5. And I'm going to label that point B. Now, if it helps, some people like to actually draw the arrows next to it. They're like, okay, the first point is the right or left. So positive would be right. Right or left, so negative would be left. And then they're like, okay, well, that's over nothing. And then the second one is the up or down. It's positive, so up. The second one is up or down. It's negative, so I'm going to go down. And then the second one's up or down, and it's positive, so up. Okay, so that means for C, go ahead and try to plot it. Let's see how you did. Okay, you went over nothing and up 7. So that is point C. Okay, the next one wants you to write the coordinate pair or coordinate point for D. So first off, you need to find D. D is down here. Okay, so that went over is the first one. How many? 3. So my first number is a 3. And then it went down, how many? -8. So my second number representing the y coordinate is -8. Okay. Then we want to write the coordinate pair for E. So let's go ahead and find E and see if you can write the coordinate pair for that. Okay, well, how far over did it go? It went over -5. And then how far up did it go or down? It went up or down, nothing. So then I put a 0. Perfect. Okay, F, right or left, how far did you go? You went left 9, so -9. And then up or down, what'd you do? You went up 8, so +8. And then this might be a little bit new to you, is when you're reflecting it off of an axis. So for G right here, it wants us to reflect G over the y-axis. Well, first off, which one's the y-axis? That's this one, the up or down one, right? So if you find G, how far is G from this line? It's 1, 2 away, right? And reflecting means I'm basically going to take this and kind of like flip it or reflect it over that line, okay? So if I can see, well, this is 1, 2 away from this line on this side, how far would it be from this side? It would be also 2 away. And when you go ahead and you label the reflection, it's the same letter, and you put what's called prime notation up there. So I'm going to put a little 1. So it looks like a 1, but it's actually probably an I. It's called the image of the original G. Okay, so the OG is here, and then here's the image of that G. And then they're like, well, okay, can you give me the coordinate pair for each of those? Well, my OG, my original G, went over 2 and up 3. So over 2, up 3. Now, what's the coordinate pair for my image of G or G prime? Well, it went left 2 and up 3. So left 2 and up 3. Now, 8 is kind of similar, but something's different. What do you notice? Yeah, this time we're still reflecting, but we're reflecting over which line? We're reflecting over the x-axis this time. So the x-axis is this horizontal line right here, okay? So let's go ahead and find point H. Okay, well, point H is right here. So if I were to reflect it, that's me flipping it over this line right here, okay? So if I were to reflect it, where is it going to appear? Kind of like here-ish. Well, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away this way. And that's going to be your H prime. And what's the coordinate pair? Well, it went left 7 and up 5 for the image of H. And then my original H was still left 7, but this time down 5. Do you notice something interesting about your original to your image? Yeah, this, like, it's still your X value is still 2 and your Y value is still 3. Your X value is still 7 and your Y value is still 5. But notice that when you reflect it over the Y axis, the Y's stay the same, but your X's change signs. And when we reflect it over the X axis, your X's stay the same, but now your Y's change. So, I mean, you can remember that rule, but that's kind of hard. You might forget, you might switch it up and do the wrong thing. So what's better is to just actually, okay, I'm reflecting it over this line. So count how far away that point is from the line, and then count the same in the opposite direction, and then double test it. If I were to flip it over that line, yeah, like that's where it would appear. And versus if I were to reflect it over this line, that's where the image would appear. Okay? And that's all there is to reflecting. The other thing you might be asked about in this section is knowing which quadrant or axis a point is on. So see if you can label which quadrant is what. Okay? Well, there's 4 quadrants, right? And which one's what? Where's one? Here, 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 here. You want to know my trick that I do? Okay, I draw a big giant C for coordinate plane, because isn't this called the coordinate plane? And then when I draw my big giant C, I kind of follow that C, and that's the order of the quadrants. So here's quadrant 1, here's quadrant 2, here's quadrant 3, and then here's quadrant 4. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then now that I have them labeled to help me, let's find D. And which quadrant is that in? Yeah, 4. In case it was multiple choice, they like it in Roman numerals a lot of times, but I would just type that it's in 4. And then I also want to label which quadrant E is in, and you're like, wait, is E in 2 or 3? It's actually in neither of those, right? It's not up here, and it's not down here. It's on this line. And which line is this? The x-axis. So this is actually not in a quadrant. It's on, that's why it said or axis, it's on the x-axis. All right. Hopefully you feel a lot more confident about plotting points and reflecting points. You got this. You're going to do amazing.